Hi you guys, so today is my little sweet and sassy girl's third birthday. So in honor of that, we thought it would be fun for me to share a little bit about her story because it's definitely not normal, nor is she. But anyways, it's just a really cool story, and she is definitely a miracle baby, and yeah, we just wanted to share that with you. And that's her being a hot mess in the background. Okay, so Jake and I knew we wanted to have kids pretty quickly after we got married. We had been together for a long time already, so we got married in June, so around our 1-year anniversary, that May, we got off birth control, and I got off birth control in May, and this is TMI I guess, but I never had a period in May. Took a pregnancy test, and it was negative. Okay, so we went to Hawaii, and everything was normal, and then as we were coming home from Hawaii on the drive from the airport, I started feeling like kind of off. I was tired. You know, I just didn't feel normal. So I started wondering if maybe I was pregnant, but we had taken a pregnancy test right before we left for Hawaii, and I wasn't. But it had been like 8 weeks since I had a period. So we got home that next morning. I woke up, took a test, and it was positive, and I'm like freaking out. Tell Jake, he's so excited. And so yeah, I used like an online calculator, and it said I should be around 8 weeks pregnant. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I like thought I was one of those people on like TLC's I didn't know I was pregnant show. We called just my normal doctor, got in. They didn't really do anything. They just did like another urine test, said I was positive. Same thing, he got the date of my last period, said you're 8 weeks, that was that. So I called the OB that I was planning on using, and they got me in the very next day because I was so far along. So we get there, and I'm oblivious. Jake and I didn't know what we were doing. I had obviously never been pregnant before. And so we get to the OB, they do the normal thing, all the questions, and I'm laying there, and they do the ultrasound, and I don't know what it's supposed to look like, but I see her kind of, you know, like looking and all of that, and she's like, okay, so I'm not seeing a heartbeat, I'm not seeing anything really except the fetal pole, and it was measuring about, I think like four weeks about. And she said, okay, it can mean one of two things. Either it's a blighted ovum and this isn't a viable pregnancy, or your dates are mixed up and you're not as far along as you thought you were. So I knew my dates weren't wrong, but we thought maybe I had ovulated later, or who knows. Because like I said, I had just gotten off birth control. So we were going to do 2 rounds of blood tests. My appointment was a Friday, so that Friday we went home, and I went to the hospital, got blood tests, and then Saturday, and then Sunday I went back and got another draw. Well, on Monday morning, the nurse practitioner called, and I could just tell, we had already told like our immediate family, but hadn't told anybody else, but I could just tell when I answered the phone that something was not good. And she explained to me that my counts of the hormone, like the pregnancy hormone, were so high, like insanely high, that there was no reason that there shouldn't be a heartbeat at how high that was. So that kind of pointed to a blighted ovum. On top of that, my numbers were rising a little bit, but they weren't doubling. And so she explained to me that I could come back in and get another ultrasound just to be sure, and then we could kind of go from there. She discussed the option of a DNC or miscarrying naturally. So I was devastated. I mean, it was our first baby, and like I said, we didn't know what we were doing. We just got pregnant right away, and it was just like so naive to this whole experience. So it really did a number on us. That day we went in, and they did another ultrasound, and the fetal pole was still there, no heartbeat, nothing. It was essentially just pretty much the same. Again, they just discussed the options with us. I could either go in for a DNC that next day, or they said I could wait around and miscarry naturally. Well, it was kind of a weird time because we were going to San Diego for a conference for my husband's work. Then right, like the day after that, we were driving up to Malibu for our best friend's wedding. And then like 3 days after that, we were going to the lake for our family vacation. And so it was just back-to-back things. And I didn't want to worry about waiting around when I was going to miscarry this baby. And I just wanted to get it done with. But something in me felt really weird about the DNC. So I told them that I would go home, think about it, and call them back that afternoon. So I did, and I remember being on my phone on the internet and looking up kind of my situation, and I came across this website called Misdiagnosed Miscarriages. And I remember telling my husband and mother-in-law, like, look, there's all these people that had the same story, and it ended up not being a miscarriage. So I kept going back and forth. I felt like I was killing this baby by doing the DNC, even though, like, you know, everything scientifically was pointing to that it wasn't going to be viable. Anyways, I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I still felt very weird about it. But because there were so many things going on within the next few weeks, I just felt like I needed to do the DNC. It would help my body recover faster. We could start trying again and just move on and be done with it. And so I called them back. They scheduled my DNC for the next morning. So that was July 2nd. So July 3rd, I went into the hospital early in the morning. I remember just crying the whole time. Obviously, I was distraught. And the anesthesiologist came up to me and introduced herself, and she was so sweet. And I just remember her putting her hands on my shoulders and whispering to me, don't worry, you're gonna have lots and lots of babies. Anyways, it was just an emotional experience. So I had the DNC, and when I woke up, I felt great and all of that. So on the drive home though, my mom and Jake, who were both there, said that my doctor had come out after the surgery, and first of all, it had taken longer. They had said that it was going to take like 10 minutes or something, and I was in there for a really long time, and they kept being like, they're starting to get worried. Well, my doctor came out. She looked odd, Jake said. She looked very confused and puzzled, and she said that something was different about me, and that while she was trying to do the DNC, that everything felt very tight, and like she couldn't move anything, like she couldn't find anything. It was just bizarre. And so she actually had to go up with a camera, and she handed Jake like a print off of the inside of my uterus. Like there is a picture of the inside of my uterus, and she couldn't find much. So I thought I was deformed, that I would never be able to have babies. So that really gave me a lot of anxiety if you watched our other anxiety video. So anyways, that was that. We go to San Diego, and after we were there for a few days, my doctor called, and I was just starting to get over it. I was just starting to be able to talk about things without crying and all of that. Anyways, my doctor called and said, Krista, do you still feel pregnant? And I'm like, I don't know, kind of, because my boobs were still hurting, and I wasn't sick or anything, but I still felt tired, but I thought it might take a while for the hormones to get out of my body. And I said, yeah, kind of, why? And she said, well, your pathology reports came back, and no fetal tissue was detected from the DNC. She's like, so I'm kind of nervous that this might be an ectopic pregnancy, that the baby is somewhere other than my uterus. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we're like 5 hours away from home. Jake's in a conference. I'm freaking out. I can't handle health things. I can't handle things like that at all. I just shut down. I'm freaking out. So she has me go to the lab that night after Jake got home, or back to the hotel, and we go there, get blood work done. That was that whole next day. I'm just at the hotel room, stressed out, waiting for the results. I'm looking up, you know, all of these emergency surgeries. So finally, that evening, my doctor's office called me and said my hormone levels were sky high, and I needed to get to the emergency room so they could figure out where the baby was, because a baby somewhere inside of me was still growing and still making those hormones spike. So anyways, Jake and I are freaking out. We rushed down to UC San Diego Hospital. We're sitting in the ER forever. My doctor had called and arranged it. I mean, she was just seriously the best. So I'm freaking out And then as time is going on, I'm starting to get like this weird peace, but I was almost fighting against it. I don't know, it was just a very weird moment in my life that it makes me sick and nauseous to think about that state. But on the way to the hospital, Jake was like trying to comfort me because I was having panic attacks. He was like, hey, you know, worst case scenario, we're at a good hospital and they're gonna take care of you. We're gonna figure out what's going on. He said, in best case scenario, the baby's still there and it's still okay. And I'm like, don't you say that, because I'm sure it's about to rupture my fallopian tube at any minute. We get called back. They give us they took my blood work first. They give me an ultrasound. As the lady's giving me the ultrasound, the screen is up on the wall, and I'm kind of looking at it, and Jake's looking at it, and it looks different than it did a few days before at my OB's. And I can see something flickering in this big mass. So I'm like, there's the heartbeat, but at this time, I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm sure that's in my abdomen, or she's just zoomed up in my fallopian tube or something. And so she's small talking with us. As she's finishing up, I ask her, will they let me know soon, or when will they be? And she goes, oh yeah, you'll find out soon. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like I am seriously dying. Like I thought they were just gonna like knock me out and take me back right then. The original plan was that they were going to send us back to the ER to wait for a room to clear up. Well, they sent us right into a room. I asked him if I needed to change into the gown. He said no. The guy said no, just relax. Here's the remote. So Jake and I are looking at each other like, did you see what I saw? Like we were trying to figure it out. In comes the doctor with like, because it was the UC San Diego, so it was like an intern or whatever. So it's a doctor and this intern guy. And she goes, okay, so go ahead and explain to me this whole story. So I started from the beginning, just what I told you guys, explained the whole thing to her. And the whole time I'm like looking back and forth from her to the young guy, and every time I look at him, he like looks down and is like looking at his paper. I'm like, dude, I'm like dead. Like I thought they were just didn't want to talk to me because it was bad. And get through the whole story, and the doctor says, okay, that's very interesting because we found your baby in your uterus and there's a heartbeat and everything looks perfectly fine. Anyways, we weren't crying, we weren't like overjoyed, we were just sitting there like, what? And the doctor was like, I've never seen this before, I've never heard of this before. There is no medical explanation of what happened. I mean, my doctor has been a doctor for a very, very long time. She is amazing at what she does. This wasn't like her first rodeo, and we have pictures of the inside of my uterus where she can't see anything. And so Jake and I are just sitting there in disbelief, and all of a sudden just nurses and doctors are coming in and asking us questions and telling us what a miracle this is. And it was a very odd experience because obviously it was a miracle, but to hear all of these like super intelligent, scientific, medical professionals being dumbfounded by, you know, this entire situation and telling us this is a miracle. We have no idea. This should not have happened. Anyway, so she took us back and showed us the ultrasound again and showed us the heartbeat, and that was like 10 days after the D&C, and I was like 6 weeks, 5 days pregnant, so almost 7 weeks. So the only explanation that we have is that I hadn't ovulated until like July, got pregnant. I was super early when I took that pregnancy test, and that for whatever reason, I don't know if the blood work was bad or if it was like a typo. I don't know. But my numbers should not have been up that high. They should have been doubling. And so nothing about it makes sense. But I truly believe that God protected Brielle inside my womb, that I don't know what he did, built a fortress around her and protected her from that D&C. Well, it's funny because we had a boy name and a girl name picked out, and I wanted a boy so bad, but the moment that we found that out, I knew it was a girl. I knew her name would be Brielle. Brielle means God is my might, and that could not be more true. She has proven to be a miracle, and I mean, it is very clear to us that God saved her for a purpose, and she is just strong-willed and full of life, and just the best, most the biggest blessing we could ever ask for. And it's definitely a miracle. It's something that I think about every single day. And I cannot be more thankful to God for saving this freak of nature. You want to say hi?
Hi, this is my magic spoon.
Your magic spoon. Anyways, we hope you enjoyed that story. It's something that I love to share. I think that how could you not share something like that? I will never stop talking about how God saved my baby. And yeah, we hope that you enjoyed that, and I want to wish Brielle a very happy 3rd birthday, and we are so glad that you are here with us, and we love you so, so much. Bye, you guys.